That
Dude,
good?
listen, I get it. You're not a knock-around guy. And you looked up Latin words and you didn't fucking hang out with the fellas and they used to hang you by your underwear at the lockers. So now none of them are funny because this is your one thing. But I'm funny. They could never be as funny as me.
Well,
like there's so much shit about you that's funny that you're not even trying to be funny. Your whole fucking outfit is hilarious.
Okay, so in today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the best bits, some of the highlights of Bill Burr's appearance on Bill Maher's podcast, Club Random. Okay, now I just want to quickly preface this video and explain to you that I love Club Random. I think it's one of the best podcasts out there, okay? But that doesn't mean I'm one of you weirdo Bill Maher superfans who believe he can do no wrong. I, for example, do not enjoy his TV show, Real Time. It's just not my cup of tea, those tight 5-minute monologues about Donald Trump or the trans community, right? It just doesn't do it for me. Sorry. I know a lot of you super fans, fanboys, come after me every time I dare to suggest that sometimes Bill Maher can be a bit of a ponce, right? He thinks he knows more than he does, and I'm sorry, when he doesn't have his little 5-minute monologues all written out and practiced 100 times, it all falls to pieces. And it really falls to pieces when your guest is Bill Burr. Now, a couple of months ago, Bill Maher went on Bill Burr's podcast, and they had a lot of disagreements on there, particularly about their age. Bill Burr, I think, is 13 years younger than Bill Maher, and he thinks that's quite significant in terms of the experiences they've had in their lives, and they disagreed about that. But Bill Burr was a lot more hospitable, a lot more calm, a lot more accommodating on his podcast, on his own podcast, than he was when he went on Club Random, because there he's the protagonist, he's the guy, he's the guest that everyone is there to listen to, right? And he knew that, and he really ripped into Bill Maher. It was an hour and a half of him roasting everything about Bill Maher, the way he dresses, the words he uses, his opinions. It's amazing. We're going to take a look at it and chill out, all right? If you're worried about me insulting Bill Maher, then you can fuck off.
Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
I think that might be the difference in our generations, which is not that. I mean, we're maybe like 13 years apart.
You're one of my elders, man. I respect you for that.
I feel like I'm in the Reagan-Mondale debate.
No, I just
Now
remember when you did my podcast, you kept being like, I'm not that much older than you.
And I'm not. And
Dude, 13 years is a long fucking time.
Well, I think the point I made then, and I'll remake it for you, is that to anyone young, who is what we care about in this in this discussion, because it's like, well, we don't want to lose that audience. Trust me, when you're 25, you and I are the same. And I told you this story about...
How dare you?
When
you dress like you paint.
So this first clip we're going to take a look at here is a bit of a light one, but it's a continuation of the argument they were having in the first podcast on Bill Burr's show, where they were arguing about the difference in age between the two of them and how significant it is. There's a 13-year age gap.
We are the younger audience.
No, if you and I are just like hanging out, talking, but if we go back far enough...
You're a dad.
If we go back like...
That adds 10 years. You're married and a dad. See,
no, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
You just hate kids.
I do, but like having never gotten married, not married, not kid, that definitely closes that gap. Anyway, the point being...
I don't like how you just made that point and then said anyway really quickly before I could refute it. Anyway. Did you learn that in debating class?
I did.
Because you said anyway, I'm going to roll with that? No.
Well, I mean...
And Bill Maher, I do think he has a little bit of a complex about his age. And... It's a bit weird because he looks great. He's 68, but he looks great for his age. But he keeps mentioning it all the time. How he doesn't really feel different to when he was 40, and how he just loves the single life and how he can still play basketball and all that kind of thing. And it does feel like he's protesting a little bit too much sometimes. And there's one thing you've got to know about Bill Burr. If he's insisting on an opinion of his, it's because he's thought about it a lot.
But it's like, I mean, you're like pre-stand-up spotlight, as far as like,
What does that mean?
I mean, that's just, you were like comedy on the road, evening at the Improv. I mean, that's a whole different generation than mine.
He doesn't tend to talk about things that he doesn't know about. So if he's saying that he thinks the 13-year age gap is quite significant, and there are things about you, Bill Maher, that he notices that make you look or seem from a different time than he is from, it's because he's got 100 things lined up in his head, and he's just going to rattle them off as soon as you push back on his opinion. And this is the start of that.
Look at the difference. You can just see the way we dress. We're not different people. This is like, you come from, the slacks generation. Like slacks were still a thing.
These are not
but slacks were a thing.
No, I look good. That's the difference. Is that you were
do
wearing?
Look good.
You're wearing
You're not
sneakers.
Throw that in my face.
You got a t-shirt on. Like
You look like a fucking defendant. You look like you're trying to beat a drinking and driving charge. He doesn't have any priors, Your Honor. Look at him. He's wearing his Chelsea boots. He's a fucking, what do they call it? A productive member of society.
So as I say, it starts off quite light. He just sort of says he's dressed a little bit stuffy, a little bit serious. He looks like a defendant. Okay, whatever. And Bill Maher's going along with it. He's laughing, but it gets gradually more brutal. We'll come back to that, the clothes thing. He mentions it again later. Okay, the next thing is the big words that Bill Maher keeps using. Bill Burr does not like big words.
No one ever
All right, well then Nepo baby. Your dad has a construction company, you take it over. Does somebody call him a Nepo baby? No, it just becomes, Sanford and Son.
Yeah, but it's a little more pronounced when it's in the arts because you have this.
I hate that word.
Why?
Pronounced.
Jesus
Because
Christ.
that's like a PED.
You know what?
You know what it was? That was like a PED for your fucking point.
Your wife.
It's a little more pronounced.
Your wife must be a saint because, boy.
Because you're such a victim right now?
No, because you do like to pick a fight about anything.
You just said I was stupid.
Well, that's
He just came at me.
That's a completely different subject.
Now, Bill Burr is absolutely right here, and this is a lesson that I learned very harshly and at a very young age, that you've got to be careful with your words when you're arguing with people. Saying that something is more pronounced in certain situations or whatever it is like what Bill Burr says there. It's like a PED, a performance-enhancing drug for your argument. But sort of ironically, it doesn't enhance your argument at all unless you're talking to a moron, okay? And I remember being about 9 years old, and a couple of older kids were, I don't know what they were doing, teasing me or something. Something which I would never allow nowadays, okay? Just you try it. And I think I must have lashed out at them or something. And the teacher told me off, of course, old Muggins here. And I remember saying to the teacher within earshot of these two older kids, I said, "They provoked me." That was a very big mistake. They tore into me after that. It was just like, "Oh, they provoked me, you mad fucking scientist." They, kids in Sheffield, they weren't using the word provoke, all right? So I learned don't use words above certain situations, stations, I guess.
I don't know.
Right.
I just think it's gauche. But yeah.
Here you go again with the big words. What does gauche mean? I've heard the word.
It means great in French.
Gauche? No, it doesn't.
No. You can always talk Beatles. And yes, they always, one reason they are prima inter pares among rock gods is that they...
I've never heard all of those words. Was that 3 words? Was that 2 words?
That's Latin for first among equals.
Don't you save that for your parties when you're wearing your smoking jacket? I'll tell you, that Bill Maher is really smart. He is really well-read. He just said prima paravourtes.
Prima inter pares.
Inter pares.
You know what? I'm not the bad guy because I know more. Okay, can we just get
That's
that?
right. Don't
can
make
we just
me. Don't make me.
Chiron that?
Exactly.
I'm not the bad guy because I know things. I apologize.
You should say, "I'm sorry, I'm not stupid, Bill." That's what you should have said.
So at this point in the podcast, it starts to get a little bit away from Bill Maher. He starts to get cooked by Bill Burr a little bit too much because he's starting to hit the nail on the head, isn't he? Saying stuff like that. I know Bill Maher is playing up to it a little bit by saying gauche and prima inter pares, but when Bill Burr said that, when he said, "Oh, that Bill Maher's real smart," he said prima inter pares. That's exactly it. That is the guy Bill Maher wants to be. He wants to be the smart guy that everyone knows he knows words and stuff. He does kind of pride himself on being an intellectual when he's not one. Really, he just sort of reads a few things in the news and then does his 5-minute monologues. I'm sorry for those of you who think he's like some mega brain. Okay, he's not. He's just a little bit of a ponce sometimes.
Ponce. That
Dude,
good?
listen, I get it. You're not a knock-around guy. You looked up Latin words and you didn't fucking hang out with the fellas and they used to hang you by your underwear at the lockers. So now none of them are funny because this is your one thing. But I'm funny. They could never be as funny as me.
Well, that's...
Like, there's so much shit about you that's funny that you're not even trying to be funny. Your whole fucking outfit is hilarious.
My
I don't know what it
outfit.
is. Yeah.
A shirt and pants is an outfit?
You're dressed like that. You're going to sing that, what is that song? Splish Splash, I was taking a bath with your stupid little slippers that you're wearing.
Slippers? These are like boots. These are
shit.
almost Beatles.
Oh, fuck, you're an outlaw.
These are
Yeah, so like I say, Bill Maher's really starting to lose control of the podcast at this point, and he's getting insecure. He's looking down at his feet. They're not slippers. They're boots. And Bill Burr is just focused completely 100% on roasting him. You know, oh shit, oh fuck, you're an outlaw. Anyway, from this point on a few occasions, Bill Maher tries to take control of the conversation. But Bill Burr's just on a one-track mind now. He's just thinking about roasting Bill Maher, so it gets out of control.
Can I share something about the Beatles with you without you making fun of me? Maybe you'll find it.
Bill, that's why I'm here.
Okay. So
To listen to you share your ideas about track 3.
See, I know. I just, even when I ask, it gets shot down. Okay, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's from their mid-period. That's 1965, Rubber Soul.
You were what, 28?
That was like the first album. First.
So, to be fair to Bill Maher, he's been a good sport, but his mind's wandering again. He's trying to, I don't know where he's going with this. He's trying to go over the Beatles' history or talk about their albums or whatever. And Bill Burr's just listening to him and going, oh yeah, what were you, 28 at the time? I mean, it's just the whole rest of the podcast is in this vein.
That was the first album.
You bought your first Beatle boots?
I was 9. First album after Beatlemania. So it's great. And that
Do you ever think that you're older than the hula hoop?
that period, I remember the hula hoop. That's true. And that period...
I know this is a comedy podcast we're watching here, but that is the most infuriating thing to have happen to you. And the most fun thing to do to someone else, isn't it? When somebody's trying to make a serious point, for some reason Bill is on this rant about the Beatles now. And Bill's just sitting there like, do you ever realize you're older than the hula hoop? and the rest of the podcast continues in this vein.
Paul McCartney was with, his girlfriend was Jane Asher.
Uh-huh.
And he lived in her parents' apartment in the Garett for like 3 years in the middle of London. I'm not making this up.
What's the Garett?
The Garett is like an attic, like, the top of the apartment.
Well, we're in California. You can just say attic. And then after that, did they move? Did they move to the garage and have put some basil on their fry up?
Knowing things and words, asshole.
Slight correction there, Bill Burr. We do not call the garage a garage, though I wish we did. We call it a garage, all right?
That's an asshole thing to do. To use the English word for fucking attic in California.
Okay, but
I'm one more reference away from taking this mic off and just walking out. Did you ever play Nick's Comedy Stop? I bet you had some rough sets in that one.
I had a rough night in Boston once where
I was
the headliner
I could see you not having a good time in Boston. I could see them going.
That was a long time ago.
Dude, you have. This is a hacky reference, but you totally have the energy of you forgot to give out the homework assignment, Mrs. So-and-so.
Boston, you may have heard, is a college town. There's quite a few intellectuals there. The audience that's very sophisticated, they like my show. Okay, we all have our niche.
Oh, God, you're so fucking highbrow.
Well, it's true.
Does your shit jokes float above ours?
A little bit.
Why, because you say setment tank or something? Or something about shitting?
Wait, what was I just going to tell you? God damn it.
Nothing interesting.
No, it was. What were
Yeah, so anyway, you get the idea. But then they move on to where Bill Maher thinks he's going to be comfortable, and they start to talk about world conflicts. And Bill Burr just makes him look like an idiot again, in my opinion.
You don't realize that college campuses erupted with the kids demonstrating for Hamas? They are in with the terrorists.
They were for the Palestinians.
Well, it's sort of the same cause. Why, are you?
I'm on the side of the kids.
Yeah, that's easy to say. You know, no one wants to see kids dead. This is a war.
That was very brave of you to say that.
This is a war. No, I'm the one who's actually brave on this.
Pat yourself on the back.
It's easy to say I'm for the kids. Who's not for the kids?
Well,
it comes down to real hard-nosed decisions, like a country.
Stop talking like you're a general.
A country.
This is the thing to me. This is why I find people talking about politics so cringe, because he's absolutely right there. When somebody says, well, you've got to take some hard-nosed decisions, and Bill Burr rightly says, stop talking like a general. You don't know what you're fucking talking. You're parroting what you've heard other people say. Okay, this isn't an opinion you just came up with, you know, having studied all of the relevant data. Okay, I've stopped talking about politics in public, really. On the street, I used to stand down there on the street corner screaming at people. Now, over the last couple of years, I've just stopped because it is cringe. I think I play it back to myself afterwards whenever I've had arguments with people about politics. I'm cringing about what I've said because in reality, I'm saying stuff that makes me feel weak because I'm talking about stuff that I don't know enough about almost every time. You know, so I definitely, whenever I talk about anything political, I try to stay very reserved and very calm and not get emotional about it now, if I ever do give my opinion on stuff. And, you know, basically, I'm just a really well-rounded guy, I'd say. I'm just saying, Bill Burr, for me, has got the right attitude here. You don't need to be telling everyone what you think about global conflicts all the fucking time when you're a comedian. Okay? Or when you're just some guy. All right? If I want that, I'll go to Mr. Finkelstein.
With all due respect, you're such a fantastic moron. It's terrifying.
Or someone else who's debating all that shit for 40 years. I'll listen to them. I'll listen to their opinions.
Israel got attacked. Israel got attacked.
I'm not saying that they didn't have a right to go back. I'm just sitting there going like, how do I look at
We're the only country in the world that they get attacked, and then as soon as they counterattack, it's like, well, we got to stop this shit now. Don't attack them. There's a very simple solution to all this problem in the Middle East. Stop attacking Israel.
Hey, you
Stop
just solved
attacking
it.
Israel.
You just
I did.
solved it.
I actually
There you
did.
go. That's fantastic.
Anyway.
All right.
We don't need to get onto that.
Let's go to Russia and the Ukraine. How do you solve that one, Bill? Let me hear your hard-nosed decision about that.
I'm not saying you can't talk about politics or have your opinions about stuff. Of course, that would be ridiculous. I'm just saying, how do you not feel weak when you play that? Do you not have like an inner, what do you call it? The voice, the inner dialogue or whatever it is. When you say stuff and then you play it back to yourself, for God's sake. I can picture myself a few years ago sort of going, well, actually, like Bill Maher's doing there. There's actually a really simple solution to all of this. And then over the years, I've sort of gone, oh, fuck, people must hate it when I talk like that. That's so patronizing, you know? So that's my only point there. I think Bill Burr's absolutely right to kind of go to him. Oh, yeah, how do you solve Russia-Ukraine then? It's the same kind of thing. It's... you know, it's a frivolous way of talking about stuff, and it's self-serving. You know, it's just It's just, again, it's kind of trying to make yourself look more intelligent than other people or whatever.
Fucking John Varvatos shirt. You're not young.
John
Put on
Bar-
a sweater, for fuck's sakes.
Put on a sweater. Why? But like artistic people, they don't like perceive truth exactly literally. Now, sometimes that's better and sometimes it's worse because sometimes the truth is just the truth. And they don't see it that way. They see it sort of artistically. They see it through a
Can I ask you
very...
a question?
And I don't think they're stupider. I just think they see life through a different prism.
Can I ask you a question?
We
When was
gotta
the last
go.
time,
Good night.
from the bottom of your heart, you said to another human being, you know what, I'm wrong. And they had a live orchestra playing the score as you watched the movie.
Oh.
So cool.
Where was this?
Whatever that big symphony hall is that I never go to.
Oh, downtown, the Disney Center?
Yeah, the one that looks all weird.
Yeah, the one
Well,
from
the
Frank,
artsy.
Frank Gehry.
Frank
Yes,
Gehry?
he's an architect.
He's an architect. I knew he's an architect. Oh, that's a big thing in your world, knowing architects' names.
I wasn't trying to brag.
That's an L. Ron Hubbard.
No, it's just I'm always.
No, Frank Lloyd Wright. I always say L. Ron Hubbard. Frank Lloyd, that's a Frank Lloyd Wright.
You knew that one.
I like Frank Lloyd Wright.
Right. He and his brother invented.
I like Art
Frank
Deco.
Lloyd Wright. He and his brother invented the airplane.
I like Art Deco.
Art Deco.
First of all, I don't think you could change the oil in a car, so don't talk about fucking architecture.
I can't, and I wouldn't want to.
Oh, let me adjust my glasses. Can I tell you something, Bill? Most of the shit that you say is not smart. It's just sort of obscure.
It's not obscure to a certain percentage of people.
Yeah, people that are at
I'm
your
not some
altitude.
giant egghead. I'm just
I know you're not that smart.
I know. I'm not saying I am. Which says something about all these things I say that you don't know what I'm talking about.
So what?
I know.
There's subjects I could bring up. It's just, you're just into, musicals.
Okay, so I think that's just about enough of that then for today. And all of you super fans of Bill Maher, don't get too upset, okay? I love his show. Long may it continue, okay? All right? If you've enjoyed today's video, give it a like, let the algorithm know. Tell me what you thought in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to help out with the channel, check out my Patreon now. Just $5 a month. You get access to all of the other crazy videos I'm doing on there. And there's another one coming out, I swear, at tomorrow the latest. I know I said that a couple of days ago, but there is a new video coming out tomorrow. It's all planned, okay? But, it's just sometimes bloody life gets in the way, all right? Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
What's your name, Mac? Fuck!
I have a heart condition.